Anago is an organization that my group decided to work with. They are founded on building meaningful connections. Anago's mission is to cultivate opportunities for at-risk youth and vulnerable adults to achieve independence through integration into communities of support. Anago's vision is to build communities where individuals have meaningful connections and are inspired to realize their potential as an active participant in these communities. Anago believes that change is possible and they are change catalysts. They use evidence-informed practices to provide quality services, and they are accountable and sustainable as they measure progress and report results to demonstrate the value. They focus on respect to all active participants, and they build relationships and connect to resources. Anago has various residential and community support programs within the London, Middlesex, and Huron counties. With a 50-year heritage, Anago has been known to provide a safe educational and therapeutic environment that has built connections and opportunities for the population. The youth justice programs work within a network to empower youth in building healthy lifestyles, positive relationships, and independence. The developmental service program provides accommodation, daily living, and inclusion. Their youth programs are designed to enable building of healthy, independent lifestyles and building positive social life skills. Since Anago is a not-for-profit organization, they usually rely on donations by the community to help enable them to provide their services. If you're interested in donating or learning more about Anago, click the links below to be redirected to their page.
So now that we've introduced our organization, we're going to talk about what we worked on with Anago as part of our community project. So in our first meeting with the organization, we talked to a couple different managers, and due to the organization's focus on youth, especially vulnerable youth, they asked us to develop resources surrounding modules, basically, for clients to interact with staff or family members to kind of teach them about just generally relationships and some prominent issues that they've had within their organization that they think would be beneficial for a lot of different groups.
Okay, so based on our collaboration, we came up with the following project goals. So our first goal was to develop resources about safety, sexuality, and healthy relationships. These were to be used by the staff, as well as with their clients and the clients' families as well. Our second goal was to facilitate educational and additional training for the staff surrounding online predation, human trafficking, and trauma-informed care, which was identified by the organization as a need. And we wanted to do all this using a trauma-informed approach for all resource development, as well as ensuring sustainability of the project beyond our involvement with the organization. So the first module that we created was based on sex education, and it was designed as a training workshop for Anago staff with an accompanying PowerPoint presentation as well, and it was geared towards addressing and normalizing sex and sexuality within this client population. So this is the outline that we provided in the training. So it outlined the purpose of the training, which was essentially to provide the staff with tools to increase their knowledge and their understanding about their clients' sexuality, and sexual needs, utilizing a trauma-informed lens with a focus on creating an inclusive space and remaining non-judgmental. The module also included a section on identifying what sexuality is, as well as the difference between gender identity and sexual orientation. We included several sections on talking about sex with various stakeholders. So with the client's family, resources for the family when talking about sex with their child, as well as communicating with other stakeholders as well. And these stakeholders could include things like the Middlesex London Health Unit, Sexual Health Infoline, as well as Safe Space London. We included a section on consent, of course, so defining what consent is and what it looks like, a section on safe sex practices, as well as a final need to know section, which included our main takeaways for the training.
So the second module that we developed was about relationships and red flags, specifically related to potential predators and online dating. So to set this up, we wanted to demonstrate what healthy relationships looked like. So we used a model designed by Killerman to explain what the pillars of health are. So respect, equality, safety, and trust. And this was also a PowerPoint presentation that accompanied a resource for staff to kind of explain and modulate the different sessions. And accompanying that was what unhealthy relationships would look like. So looking at disrespect, control, dishonesty, and violence, which then led into some red flags for relationships. So if your partner or your person of interest is asking to meet you in a remote location at night, asks you to keep your relationship a secret, doesn't tell you about themselves, won't send you photos or chat with you in video, asks you for money, or makes big promises that they can't keep. And this specifically was related also to online safety. So it was really important for us to highlight like what you should do and what you shouldn't do, basically to maintain safety online in all types of relationships, not just romantic relationships. So the next thing that Anago identified was a need for their organization was something about relationships and human trafficking. So we tried to use this trauma-informed lens throughout for all of it, because we also created a resource for staff that accompanied our document that talked about the myths and facts for human trafficking for youth in Ontario by providing a definition, risk factors, vulnerable groups, and basically warning signs and how they could identify victimization in their client population. And this is a really important issue, especially for Canada and London, because the highest risk factors for human trafficking are being female, being poor, having a history of violence or neglect, a low level of education or employment opportunities, and a history of child sexual abuse. And basically, the Anago client population usually intersects several of these axes of difference. And we wanted to ensure that the staff was informed that their clients could be experiencing victimization. So overall, we just really wanted to ensure that our project and our work with them would be sustainable, which is why we created modules accompanied by training documents for staff so that the project could live on after our involvement with the organization was done. So we developed resources tailored specifically to Anago's needs. We made education for staff as well as scripts that they could incorporate into future training and orientation for new staff members. The modules can be broken down into different sections. So if not all the clients need all of the components, you can isolate a different part. And it can also be delivered one-on-one with an individual or in a group setting. And Anago also has the power to update and modify the resources for continued use. And because of the client turnover, this can be something that lives on with the organization, because when the clients turn 18s, they leave Anago and start working with adult services. So this is something that they can use continually. All of our modules were evidence-based, and here are some of the resources that we used to inform this project. And yeah, Anago's a fantastic organization. We're so grateful to have had the opportunity to work with them. And if you'd like more information about their organization or this project, please reach out to us or check out their website listed below. So thank you for your attention, and bye.